Welcome to Fun Facts Daily, your source for just the good stuff. Monday through Friday, we're bringing fun facts and news you can use, all carefully curated to uplift and inform. So give yourself a break, relax, and learn something awesome in just a few minutes every day. Hi everyone, I'm Kyle Wood, and today we're going to be learning all about your hair. But before we get into the facts, let's warm up our brains with a little challenge to see if you can tell fact from fiction. Consider this. For generations, people have confidently claimed that if you shave your hair, it will grow back much thicker, darker, and faster than before. It's a piece of advice passed down to teenagers everywhere who are eagerly awaiting their first real beard or dreading a bad haircut. But is it true? What do you think? If you shave your hair, will it grow back thicker, darker, and faster? We'll find out at the end of the episode. Now for your word of the day. Our word for today is follicle. That's Follicle. In the context of hair, a follicle is a tiny tunnel-like pocket in the epidermis, the outer layer of the skin, where every single strand of hair is born and grows. You can picture it as a microscopic living factory hidden just beneath the surface of your scalp. At the very bottom of this little pocket is the hair bulb, where living cells divide rapidly to build the hair shaft, while tiny blood vessels deliver all the oxygen and nutrients needed to keep that miniature factory running smoothly. The word follicle comes from the Latin folliculus, which simply translates to a little bag. It's kind of odd to think about it, but I guess really that's kind of what the hair follicle is. Millions of tiny little biological bags scattered across your skin, each working tirelessly to produce and hold on to a single strand of hair. It's also within this little bag that your body determines the shape of your hair. A perfectly round follicle produces straight hair, while an oval or slightly flattened follicle creates beautiful waves and curls. Time for your daily high five, our top 5 fun facts about hair. Number 1, a single strand of human hair can support a weight of about 3 ounces, but if you weave all your hair into a rope, it could theoretically hold up an elephant. When we think of hair, we usually picture something delicate and easily broken, but on a microscopic level, hair is actually astonishingly durable. A single healthy strand of human hair has the structural strength to hold up to 3 ounces or about 100 grams without snapping. This resilience is thanks to keratin, the tough protein that makes up the shaft of hair, and this is the exact same protein found in horse hooves and bird feathers. Now, if we multiplied the strength of a single hair times the roughly 100,000 to 150,000 individual strands of hair on the average person's head, the combined strength becomes absolutely mind-boggling. If you could weave all those strands together into a thick rope, it could theoretically hold up to 12 tons. The scientists have long been fascinated by this impressive strength-to-weight ratio. They study human hair to inspire the design of new, ultra-durable synthetic materials. While you certainly shouldn't go trying to lift heavy machinery by your ponytail, it's still kind of cool to think the strength and engineering hidden in materials that are often right in front of your eyes. Number 2. Your hair grows on average about half an inch per month, which may not sound like much, but it's the second fastest growing tissue in your body. You might not notice it when you look in the mirror every day, but your hair is constantly on the move at a cellular level. On average, human hair will grow about half an inch a month or 6 inches a year. If the rest of my body grew at the same rate as my hair, I'd be over 21 feet tall by now. Thankfully, that's not happening. As I said, hair is the second fastest growing tissue in the human body, and if you're wondering what the fastest is, that would be bone marrow, which is constantly churning out red blood cells to keep us alive and healthy. Interestingly, because hair growth requires so much metabolic energy and constant cell division, it's often one of the first things affected when our bodies are under stress or lacking proper nutrition. This means your hair isn't just a stylish accessory, it's a fantastic living record of your overall health and well being over the past several months. Number 3. Your hair contains a highly detailed chemical record of everything you've consumed, making it very valuable for forensic scientists. When you eat, drink, or even step outside into your environment, the chemical compounds from those experiences make their way into your bloodstream. As your blood circulates, it nourishes the hair follicles on your head, embedding tiny traces of those chemicals directly into the keratin structure of the growing hair shaft. Because hair is essentially dead tissue once it pushes through the scalp, it permanently locks in those chemical signatures. This means that a single strand of your hair can reveal a ton of information about your diet, the minerals in your drinking water, even the climate you live in. This incredible recording ability makes human hair an invaluable resource for forensics and archaeology. Scientists have been able to carefully analyze the hair of ancient mummies to determine what they ate for their final meals and where they traveled during their lives. And modern forensic experts routinely use hair analysis to piece together timelines in investigations, as the hair shaft preserves vital clues that might have disappeared from the bloodstream long ago. Number 4. While we may look relatively bare, humans actually have the same amount of hair follicles per square inch on their body as chimpanzees. When we compare ourselves to our closest primate relatives, it's easy to assume that humans somehow lost most of their hair during the evolutionary process. But this is actually a very common misconception. Humans actually have around 5 million hair follicles spread across their bodies. This is about the same density of hair distribution that you would find on the bodies of chimps and other great apes. The real difference is not in the number of follicles we have, but in the specific type of hair those tiny follicles produce. Over millions of years, human body hair evolved to become what scientists call vellus hair, which is incredibly fine, light-colored, and almost invisible to the naked eye. This evolutionary shift helped our early ancestors regulate their body temperature much more efficiently when running across hot, open savannas to hunt and gather. So while we might not look nearly as fuzzy as a chimpanzee at first glance, we are still covered in a dense coat of microscopic hair. And our fifth and final fun fact for today: getting a haircut on the International Space Station requires specialized, vacuum-equipped clippers. In a microgravity environment, freshly snipped ends of hair don't simply fall to the floor to be swept up later. Instead, those thousands of tiny, itchy hairs would immediately disperse and float freely throughout the entire spacecraft. This could pose a serious danger to the crew's eyes, their respiratory systems, and the station's delicate electronic control panels. Free-floating hair could easily jam up a vital computer fan or clog the life-saving air filtration systems. While you might think all this risk might mean that astronauts would just let their hair grow while they're in space, these are people who literally go further than the rest of us. I mean, they're going where very few people have ever gone before, which means they don't back away from a challenge. The astronauts use highly specialized grooming equipment designed specifically for microgravity. The clippers are attached to a powerful vacuum hose which immediately suctions away every single piece of hair the moment it's cut. It's actually usually a two-person operation, so the astronaut receiving the haircut will have to help out by holding the vacuum nozzle in place while a crewmate carefully operates the clippers. Now for some news you can use. If you want to keep your hair looking healthy, shiny, frizz-free, you might want to look to a different source because this podcast is written and recorded by a middle-aged suburban dad, and not a lot of people see me and wonder what secret beauty tips I might have. Still, according to my research, one hack people have found useful for their hair is swapping out the standard bath towel for a soft, 100% cotton t-shirt when drying your hair after a shower. Traditional terry cloth towels have deep, rough grooves that are fantastic for absorbing water from your body, but they can be incredibly harsh on your delicate hair cuticles. When you rub your wet hair with a standard towel, the rough texture causes friction, which disrupts the outer layer of the hair shaft and leads to breakage, split ends, and unwanted frizz. By using a smooth cotton t-shirt instead, you provide a much more gentle, flat surface for your wet hair to rest against as it dries. The flat weave of a t-shirt material effectively absorbs excess water without snagging or roughing up the hair cuticle, keeping the strands smooth and perfectly intact. Just gently squeeze or wrap your wet hair in the t-shirt rather than aggressively rubbing it, and you'll quickly notice softer, much more manageable hair. Finally, the moment you've been waiting for. At the beginning of the episode, I asked if shaving your hair really makes it grow back thicker, darker, and faster. This one's a fallacy. Shaving your hair has absolutely no effect on its growth rate, natural color, or overall thickness. The hair follicle is what determines exactly how your hair grows, and that lives deep beneath the surface of your skin, completely untouched and unbothered by a razor. The reason this myth has been so persistent is because of how shaved hair looks and feels as it first grows back out of the skin. A razor simply cuts the hair shaft at its thickest point, leaving a blunt, flat edge that feels coarse and stubbly, often appearing darker simply because it hasn't been lightened by the sun or worn down by friction yet. So shaving doesn't actually make your hair thicker, it just makes it feel that way. Now, I hope you enjoyed learning a bit about your hair with me today, and be sure to tune in every weekday for even more fun facts. Fun Facts Daily is an Airwave Media podcast. It was written, recorded, mixed, and edited by me, Kyle Wood. Thanks for sharing a part of your day with me. Be sure to follow Fun Facts Daily on your favorite podcast app so you can keep the good stuff coming your way every day. And if you like the show, please do me a favor and leave a kind rating, review, or just tell your friends about it.